Tough choices after Raila poll term snubbed. What next? The country on tenterhooks over impasse as it emerges that out of the 12 items in NASA's irreducible minimums list, 5 have been rejected, 3 partially agreed, and 2 and 4 are pending. We'll talk about this in detail, but Jared, what is your take on this? I mean, Al Ghurair is still printing the ballot papers. OT Morpho is still providing IBC with the technology, and Safaricom still, IBC will still use Safaricom, networks to do to transmit results, and Chiloba is still in office.
Well, thank you, Ben, and good morning to my colleagues here. Firstly, Ben, allow me to delve into an issue that did take a lot of headlines in the recent past, and this regards to the brutal and senseless attack on the University of Nairobi students by Jubilee GSU wing of the police.
Is it Jubilee or is it the GSU?
It's Jubilee.
All right.
So, I mean, getting into the university lecture halls and fishing out students from their halls of residence to beat them up and clobber them senselessly using those ugly big batons is contrary to the doctrinal values of our Constitution, the edict of human rights, and must be condemned very forcefully by all Kenyans of goodwill. It was totally needless for the police to act in such a manner. Even if, and I want to assume, that they were demonstrating, as they would want us to believe, there is no law that allows the police to declare war with peaceful demonstrators. So we hope that IPOA, that has been given the mandate to seize the moment, will come up with its findings. And those who were party to that undertaking, together with those who gave out the orders, must be brought to book. Now, we still maintain that our irreducible minimums have not been renegotiated. They still remain as they were. All those 12 demands are in sync with what would therefore present a credible election. You know very well, Ben, that when the Supreme Court did nullify the election, it touched on certain fundamental transgressions in the electoral merchandise. And they did mention that certain illegalities were perpetuated by the officials of IEBC. Now, we have got two divides here working at the same time. You have Jubilee that has therefore finally come to the reality that indeed those transgressions ought not to have taken place. And for them, the cure simply means that those transgressions can be now made into statutes, be different pieces of legislation, that even if they will be repeated by the same IEBC, then they will not qualify to vitiate an election, a presidential election. So they have finally come to terms with that reality. And that is why their top voices concerning castigations on what the Chief Justice did have recently simmered.
So we'll get into the details of some of these demands, the ones that have been rejected, the ones that have partial concessions, and the pending demands. But what next?
What next begins tomorrow. We have countrywide peaceful protests in line with Article 37 of the Constitution. We want Kenya to go into an election that will not once again be subjected to another round of petition. We have, as a country, lost so much within this period of time that we will not allow Jubilee to go around perpetuating their ills and hence put the country into this quagmire.